Hello everyone, I'm back with another interesting video in CCNA topic, that is iOS basic commands. As we know, the basic command or any command in any router is essential. With that command we can control overall configuration or all management or all system configuration, or we can control the system from anywhere by using the simple and imported commands within different language. As we know, the commands, we have different commands for different operating systems, as well as we are using DOS, or we are using Linux, or we are using router. So they all have different commands. So let's start in this chapter the basic command in iOS. As we know, in iOS we have a command interface for any router, and with the command interface we can execute our command to configure the same in order to configure it. As in, if you're talking about basic command, first of all, as we know, the command with the host name, because host name is important, know the name of the device, or the host name is example of the name for anyone, for any device. The name plays a big role for any devices, any individual, any personality, any person, so that we can identify it. So to know the host command in this mode, we can just simple configure with the device host name. We just change the host, we can change the host name. So what we need to do, we need to enter in the global configuration mode by just typing in the router command mode, that is enable. Then after enabling mode, we can see the router configuration terminate command in the privilege exec mode, and in this exec mode we can go through with another command, that is config. And after typing the config, there is a command we are using, that's a configure te, so you can get it in the configure terminal mode. And here we can see we have a terminal mode, or we have the host name as a host name r1. So or we can stop this command at any time by using the Ctrl Z or Ctrl Z. After that, as we know, once they enter the global configuration mode, just type the command, just hostname r1. Now the prompt changed to the reflected configure value r1. So this is the basic command of configuring the host mode in iOS router. Or another command that plays a big role if we are not using any system, we simply do shut it down to give system configuration at is in a relaxation mode, or we can say the system, every system needs some relaxation mode. We can do it by no shutdown mode, or in the iOS command we have the no shutdown. In Windows we have simply shutdown. In Linux we have shutdown by using the command init0. It simply shut down the command, so command cannot be executed. So it's very important to shut down your system or reboot your system frequently, so the memory can be optimized, so the memory can be released, and system will perform again in the better way. By doing this, by default interface is turned off on a Cisco router, but you need to enable as an interface by using the global configuration mode as interface underscore type or interface underscore number. Here we once enter in the interface mode, we can enable the interface by typing the shutdown command, that is shutdown or no shutdown. When you tap the no shutdown command, so it's a turn off. So it's in there, by using the no shutdown command we can shut down the router. So this is another basic command in the iOS router. Third, the IP address. As we know, the IP address plays a big role for any devices in the network. Without IP address, we cannot communicate with other device. Or if no IP address, it means the device is not for use. So IP address plays a big role. To configure, in order to configure the IP address in Windows, it will be configured by statically or dynamically. Or dynamically, that can be performed by router by DHCP server. In iOS router, we can just simply go through with the IP address command by using the IP address space your IP address. In our example, we have a 10.0.0.1 and the subnet mask is 255.0.0. Once we enter the command, then IP address is configured. If you made a mistake by typing in the IP command, if you type the 10.0.0.2 instead of 1, it will configure as .2. But again, by typing the same command, we can rectify our address or we can rectify our corrections with the same. So IP address command is also comes in the category of common or basic command on your router. Next, we can say the setup the passwords. As you know, the all Cisco devices has built-in authentications, and they are different way to configure the authentication on device. In our example, we can see we have a host name. In the configuration mode, we need to type the line console 0. Once the line console 0 mode is enabled, we just need to type a command password. After that, space and our new password or the password we want to fix on it. We can say the password 123. Once we enter it, the password will be as 123, and we check and we are trying to log in with another one. We are talking log in with another after rebooting, or we are checking for any authentication. It will simply ask for your password, or just typing with our example 123. Once we by the force usually to type the password when access the device through the console port, it will asking for password, that is 123. So password plays a very essential role to protect yourself from any unauthorized access. So it's better to keep in practice. We need a password. Next, we can configure the password for the telnet access. The telnet access is getting the remotely access of any device in the network, and in the same way we can configure the telnet password. And we can say we have as we know, by default the telnet access is disabled. We need to enable it by using in configuration mode. That's a line vty first underscore vty space and last underscore vty, and after that it comes in the command line mode, and we can say the same way in the password after space and giving the what we password want to access on it, what the password we need to perform. Once we perform the login, it will same the ask for the password. So as you know, already we know the briefly we'll go through it. The password is very important. We are using in the system booting, we are using the system command prompt, or as well as we are using in getting through telnet. Next, we have a show command. The show command is used to display the device configurations. It will show you the statics, command history, interface status, or we can enable by invoking by enable command. As we know, by in the router we can just simply type show and question mark. It will show you all the information like the AAA values, like the class maps or your terminal display configuration, DSCP dynamic, IEEE standard ports, and clock display system clock. So it gives you the each and every information briefly by typing your show command, or we can use the show space question mark. So it will give you the configuration of your device. This is another basic command in router. And the briefly we can go through with the most popular commands, or we have the different commands so commonly used in the router. We can see we have a show running hyphen config. It will gives you the configuration of your devices. Show startup hyphen config, startup configuration on your device. Show IP interface, so information about your interface on router. Show history, it will give you the command history, the command you have used. If you suppose if you enter command, if there's a long command and if you forget or you don't want to use it again, just you can go through with the history. It will give you the command what you entered in the last previous mode. Or show interface, it will give you the specific interface name, and show version, it will give you the information, the version about the iOS version you're using on it. So these are all the basic commands we are using on the router. Next, we can say we have system on the configuration descriptions. By adding the description interface on the Cisco device, that doesn't provide any extra practicality, but it helps administrator purpose. It solves the purpose of administrator to configure or giving the descriptions on your in the basic mode. Or we can say we have configuration command, we have interface fa0/1, and it gives you in the mode of the config if, and we need to type the descriptions WAN to daily, so it will configure your WAN to daily mode. As we can see in the picture, we have the configuration First we have FA01, we have the type, the description, when to daily, and it will set it on. On same way, we can erase the description by command FA or 0/1 and no description. So there is no description on it. So this is the configuration of your description in iOS router. And running with the privilege command in the global mode with the configuration mode. So as we know with the beginning, we start with the using the privilege mode. To getting this, we can go with the privilege mode, and after that we run within the global configuration mode and within sub modes. So we have used the commands with the int space fa 0/1. So it will in the configuration mode, and after that we can go through with the show interfaces if you give the interfaces of your configuration. So we can say the above command, we can see the currently in the interface mode. If you need to get the more information, we just need to type the show interface fa 0/1 and command, and the same hand should be go through with the error because it gives the list of the error we have already used on it. Or we can say the command was successfully executed, and we can check the information what in the comes in the interface configuration. So this is the run privilege mode within the global configuration mode. And we have ports on the iOS devices. As you know, the port is a logical gateway, so it can connect our internet to our outside in internet to another connections of internet. From one domain to another domain, we need some ports. In example, we have a little bit brief on the router back portion panel. We have a different ports, and we can say we have a console, we have USB, we have compact flash, we have PE mode, or we have for SPGGE port flashes. So different routers have the different configuration with their hardware dedicated devices, and they're using the different ports on the back panel of it. And we are having the example of your Cisco 7201 router. It has a 4 GE physical ports. As you can see in the pictures, the brief diagram of it. Next, we can say to display the router information in iOS, we need to know what is the router is configured with. So we can check the information on the router by simply typing command show IP int brief. So it will give you the brief command from your privilege exe mode. You can see in the picture it will give you the command of your Ethernet IP, and yes, it's a manual, it's up, and the protocol is up. It gives you the more information about the VLAN. We can check it, it's assigned or unassigned. So the output of the the physical interface mode, so we can get the more information briefly of your router information. And next we have a brief description of each columns. We have interface, we have an IP address, we have a methods, we have a status. So we have a different description for the different columns. The interface gives you the type of the interface, the IP address display the IP address, and the method we are using with the manual can be dynamically or can be statically by the DHCP or statically. Or status gives you the indication your interaction with the administrator is up or not. So this is the brief description of the each column. Next, by default, we have the ports on the Cisco routers is running your power on devices, and you need to connect your devices, the switch, and you're ready to go. By simply the no shutdown, we have already go through with it, and we can say we can connect with our system or we can connect with our IP. We can check it through the no shutdown. And next we can say we have the iOS boot sequence. As you know, the boot sequence plays a big role, and this is essential to check each and every devices. In Windows we have a different boot process, in Linux we have a different boot process for their operating system, but in the iOS mode we have same way, but we have some steps. In the first of all, it will get with the post mode, that is a power on self test. It will discover and re-verify your hardware components whether it's working or not. If it's working fine, then it will just skip it, and if there's an error with your hard drive, it gives you an error. After post successfully, then boot up, that bootstrap it copy your ROM into your RAM. As you can see, there's your configuration you save with your previously, or the configuration is running out. It save it on your RAM. So it's a very, it plays a big role. You know, it's a post. After posting, it will copy your all file in your ROM that copy into your RAM. So this is the plays a big role. The next we can choose the bootstrap, the decided for iOS image. it will load it from your flash memory into RAM. And after this loads, you choose the IOS. Once your router configuration comes with your command prompt. And after the IOS finds the startup, the configuration file is usually with the NVRAM. After loaded into a RAM, as with the running configuration, it will show you the output in your command prompt. And after we have the backup of your IOS configuration, as we can see in the picture in the server side, under the services mode, there is TFTP that is on, and it has the HQ routers configuration. It gives the backup, it takes the backup of all your configuration of your router. Backup is very essential for each and every organization, whether it's a data backup or whether it's your OS backup, your information backup. So backup need to be performed for any intelligence corporation or intelligence task performed by any organization. If you lose your backup, you will lose all the data and you will never recover it, or can recover it by your efforts. It will take time. So backup during the configuration of your router, we can check it within the server side by giving this picture here. And we can see with the command we can copy the startup configuration. We can using the command of your TFTP server while running command 2 and the copy startup-config TFTP, and if you copy your startup configuration TFTP, we can see it on the picture. Is wait some time and give you the message that waiting for your startup configuration, and after that comes with the OK with your bytes. As you know, the first parameters in the copy keywords that we are using here, the copy startup-config TFTP, or from their source location with the second one destination location. So it will go with the destination location where source to destination, from where do you want to copy it. Or we can copy with the TFT running configuration also. In the same way, we can see in this picture, we can just simply type the copy TFTP mode with the startup-config. So it will give you the, we can check and cross verify the copy from the source to destination is exactly copied or not, as we already have the file name, IP address, TFTP server. So this is all about the basic of your IOS router configuration, how you can go through with it, and you can use with the in very basic manner command. You can check your router configuration, you can check the IP, you can shut it down, you can give the host name, you can change the host name, you can give the IP address, or you can change it your subnet IP. So these are all the basic command we have gone through with the IOS router. I hope you will like this video. Thank you for watching this video, and stay tuned for next video with more interesting video in CCNA topic. Goodbye and have a nice day.